Test mic. Mic test 1 2. Mic test 2. Testing mic check 1 2. Mic test 3. Mic check 3. 1 2 3. Mic check. Mic check 1 2 3. Testing 1 2. Mic check.
Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3.
It is 10:03 on June 3rd, 2026, and this regular meeting of the Mayor's Council of Guam is now called to order. Roll call, please.
Thank you. I'm sitting in for Mayor Louise, who will be here shortly. We'll start from the top. Mayor Jesse Alleg,
Present.
Mayor Del Alvarez, Mayor Richard Arroyo.
Present.
Can we see the Zoom room?
Yeah, I'm trying to. Sorry, Mayor. I don't know why.
They let him in.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me? Mayor, can you
He's
hear
one
me?
of those, Mayor Richard.
Yeah,
Yes.
Mayor. How,
But is there volume?
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's blurry on my
Sorry, 1 second.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, we'll come back to that. Vice Mayor Bautista. Mayor Peter John Beneventi. Mayor June Blas.
Present.
Vice Mayor Pedro Blas. Mayor Franklin Champaco. Mayor Anthony Chargaloff. Vice Mayor Chris Farron. Mayor Michael Gumatautau. Mayor Hoffman present. Vice Mayor Ann Leon Guerrero. Mayor Francis Lazama. Mayor Rudy Paco. Mayor Johnny Canata. Mayor Luis Rivera. Mayor Frankie Salas. Mayor Wayne Santos. Mayor Kevin Siswico. Mayor Ben Tidegui. Mayor Brian Charlahi.
Present.
Vice Mayor Ed Tosco. Vice Mayor Albert Toves. Mayor Alan Agata. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Mr. President, we have 14 accounted for at the moment.
Mayor Hoffman, can we just go ahead and see if the Hagåtña and Agana Heights can at least type in that they're present, that the mayor is online if they cannot hear or they cannot speak? And can we confirm that? He says he hears perfectly, but he didn't reply.
Again, Heights, okay. Mr. President, we have 15 accounted for then. Because I saw Hagåtña's thing line up when he did. So we have 15, Mr. President.
Okay, 15, thank you. In compliance with the open government law, the first meeting notice was advertised in the Guam Daily Post on May 27 and second notice on June 1st and posted on the Government of Guam Public Notice portal. Additionally, this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on the Mayor's Council of Guam's YouTube channel. Please stand for the national anthem, Guam Hymn, and the Inifresi. Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the minutes for May? There's a motion by the mayor of Talafova. Was there a second? Seconded by the mayor of Dededo. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the treasurer's report? There is a motion by the mayor of Chalampago Ordered. Is there a second? Seconded by the vice mayor of Jigo. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. Motion carries. Our executive director's report, please.
Good morning, mayors and vice mayors. I am pleased to report that MCOG has successfully awarded a contract for the automated management system, which will modernize and standardize the verification of residency. This system will consolidate all resident-related processes into a unified portal, improving efficiencies, consistencies across all villages. We are currently in the discovery phase and the data collection phase and anticipate a possible full implementation beginning FY 2027. Moving on, several villages have submitted their expenditure reports to the Office of the Governor, which is required under Public Law 38124, Emergency Response to Tropical Storm Senlaku. However, a few remain outstanding. If your report has not yet been submitted, please do so promptly. Invoices related to this account must also be submitted immediately so they may move forward to DOA for payment. Once all submissions are received, the council will consolidate the information and issue a comprehensive report. In addition, overtime for the employees that responded to the emergency response, all the overtime accrued has been issued, and so it has been paid out. Lastly, please be reminded that the third quadrant non-appropriated and appropriated fund reports are due July 15th. That's all I have for now, Mr. President. And if I'm available for any questions, if the mayors or vice mayors have any for me.
Thank you. Any member have a question or a concern with the report? Okay, moving on to committee reports, boards and commissions. Are there any boards and commissions that have met recently that would like to make a report? No. The mayor of Inalan is recognized.
No, I don't. I'm not really board to report, but I do have Mayor BJ, who's actually our rep for DOE, and it's Mayor BJ. I'm asking. I'm not sure if you are involved in any of the talks going on regarding the potential closure of some southern elementary schools. With that said, I'm very upset, frustrated, disappointed, and literally pissed off with DOE that they're having this talks without any concurrence or acknowledgement from the mayors involving us so that we can allow the stakeholders to, provide some input as to the decision that they're gonna potentially make. It's sad that I know I, for one, am fielding a lot of calls in the office with zero answers to give with regards to what are the options that they're looking at, and what other opportunities or alternatives can be presented to avoid a potential shutdown. And if like anything, if they're going to propose something, you always get a very cohesive transition if there's buy-in. But when you're just going to ramrod the decision down our throats, then obviously you're going to get an uprising from the community. And so, Mayor BJ, the question I have for you is, number one, have you been invited? Have you been invited to any of these discussions? And if not, I'm asking that, we try to get involved to get us Southern mayors that are going to be affected, from Santa Rita, Agat, Humatag, Maleso, Nalan, Zornia, and Talafofu. Because we need to know what direction are we heading and what kind of options or alternatives do we have, especially they already demonstrated the first phase. They did a good thing by doing an outreach to the communities. We went out there and we brought our people. We had our voice. Today, phase 2 is being discussed. We have zero interaction with the community, and that's where I think that big disparity and the big uprising will happen. Just simply lack of information, lack of knowledge.
Buenas, Mayor. May I speak?
Okay, well, Mayor BJ, hang on a moment until, can we figure out why we cannot hear Mayor BJ? Mayor, are you on mute? Okay.
Buenas.
Still can't hear him.
Buenas. Can you hear me now?
Okay, we can hear you.
Okay. So,
Thank you.
in regards to the school closures, I know there's a lot of talk and there's a lot of information going out to the community. I have yet to speak to the superintendent in regards to this. I know that the 4 schools do require the board approval in moving forward, but I agree with you, Mayor TC, that the mayors would need to get involved and let their voices heard to bring the stakeholders. So I would make sure that I connect with the superintendent in regards to your concern, as well as the concerns of the people of the South. Jesus Masi.
Just echoing
Thank
what Mayor TC had said. At least with the last superintendent, we're able, and with the last board members, we were able to get that meeting at Southern High, and we were able to at least get some questions answered, if at all. If we can't call another town hall meeting, then is it possible that the superintendent come into the mayor's council, at least her and her team, so that we can ask our questions here? I think it's important for us to understand what's going on. There's a lot of decisions that I think even the board's unaware of for these districts. There's 6 elementary schools that we're discussing, and each of them are all up in the air. So all of our districts right now are going through the same. And it's all of our constituents that are going to be affected. And I think that we went through this already the last go around, and it's the same process that needs to happen all over again. So that way there's complete transparency within all districts so that all the parents and stakeholders of the communities are aware and we're not left in the dark. We went through this with OMS when they it was the first school that was going to be shut down, as well as Marshall Sablan. And now that they're spending so much money to, put these schools back together, it makes no sense that they would be on the chopping block for these schools to be closed. I'm sure they have a plan. We just all need to understand what the plan is, so that way we can answer our constituents and know exactly what it is that the route that we're headed to. Thank you.
Can I respond to that,
Thank
please?
you. Any further concerns with DOE? Mayor BG, did you have any remarks about the DOE board?
Yes. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello,
Okay,
hello?
moving on. Any other boards and commissions? No one has met. Okay, so if you have not met, maybe that can just be that could be a side. If we could ask Amber to follow up for the next meeting. If your board and commission has not met since, well, I mean, if you haven't met in a few months, then we'd like to make sure that we either figure out what's going on with that board or
Mayor?
so we don't have to rehash it each time.
Mayor Alec, can you hear me?
Serve Guam. No. Sarah volunteered to serve on the Surf Guam Commission. Thank you. Well, we'll assign Mayor Kevin. Standing committees. We're moving into standing committees. Any standing committees need to report. So because we have I know Christmas is coming up. Okay. As a board and commission. Okay. Could we just monitor that Zoom, please, and go ahead and we'll recognize the mayor of Zonia.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so it's saying that the host is muting me. So in regards to what Mayor Kevin just said, I believe I sent a letter to the superintendent regarding, and I reported this in our last meeting, that the superintendent is willing to speak to the mayor's council. However, she is just waiting, I guess, Mayor Alec, she's waiting for the president's invitation. That's what she mentioned to me in my meeting, and I can forward you that email. I mean, she mentioned to me in my email, and I can forward that to you. So if we haven't met with her since then, I think that we should bring up this meeting with the mayor's council and her superintendents, her deputy superintendents, so that we can also voice our concerns with regards to these talks about the school closures. Thank you.
Okay. We'll move on to standing committees. Again, I was talking about Christmas, that it's coming up, and that's just a big deal for us because most of our staff participate in it as a standing committee. The Christmas party is part of that. Mayor Hoffman, would you like to speak briefly on that?
So thank you. They're organizing it again this year. As you know, we don't do Labor Day, we don't do Thanksgiving, but we do Christmas, and that's kind of our all-in-one. I will be sending out the surveys to find out, first of all, participation, if we're going to get all 19 villages. Then we'll start setting up a meeting, most likely either in mid-June, late June or mid-July, and we'll start from there. We kind of already have the same framework from last year. Even the location, we have a reservation already, a standing reservation. We'll be sending the request for the deposit, so we should be kind of on the move, what we need to do. So I'm looking forward to seeing all 19 participate this year.
Okay, thank you. Any other standing committees? Moving into unfinished business, the 82nd Guam Liberation, because that is just next month, are there any concerns or any questions about liberation so far? The mayor of Sinahani is recognized.
I know the Ascend mayor's not here, but did you guys figure out your memorial? Do you know if you're going to have a memorial? Is the rep for Ascend, right? You're right.
Speaking of that, can I, Mayor Hoffman, can you just prepare a list of all the memorials and the time?
Sure. I know that that's all we're waiting for is Ascend's request. It'll be at your office? It'll be at your office. So thank you for saving that.
Or let's go confirm with the mayor with the date and the time, if you don't mind.
But it is anything changed from when it was? It's just going to move the location, right? Okay. Yeah. I remember at the Memorial Day ceremony, he was telling me that they're working on it. So if they confirm it to move to the office from the original site, then everything kind of still flows. Everybody's time's all set. I'll send it to you guys right now.
Okay.
Can we make sure we get that uploaded onto the website?
Right.
Sure.
Okay, and there are people asking about the memorial. So if we have a list that,
Actually, we're here. We're just going to go straight down there. Is Jonya, you're still set. Menengun, 8:30 on July 5th.
Yes, sir.
All right. Asinan, Ordat Chalampago, July 9th, 9 o'clock. Barragata, Kalakwat, July 10, 10 o'clock.
Yes.
Mangilao, Hassel Mangilao, July 13th, 10 o'clock. They're not here. Asin Landing, July 15, 11 a.m. Correct. Representative says yes. Malesso Tinta, July 15, 7 a.m. You gave 7 a.m. on July 15. That's to the walk to the site. Okay. Is it 9 now? Okay. We'll change it there. Jigo, Chiguyan, July 16, 10 o'clock. Malesso Faha, July 16, 4 p.m. Okay, we'll update that. In Alahan, July 17, 9 a.m. Santa Rita Sumai, July 18, 11 a.m. Agat Fena, July 19, 9 a.m. MTM none this year for fifth Field Service Depot, Hagatnya, US MC Monument, July 21, 9 a.m. So these are the memorials that are set. The ones we don't have times for are the War Survivors Mass, which is most likely going to be June 28, as well as the Insular Guard Memorial, which usually happens in December, but I don't know if they're going to do one this year on that. I do know that there's the Marine, how's the Marine Band, right? You're right. Hold on.
July 15th.
July 16.
Or 16th, sorry.
Yeah. So the Marine Band will be here when, you're right? To participate in some of the memorials, right? Correct. And then I know that also we have a very high level, the Papal Nun Show will be here also around that time. So most likely you'll be attending the mass and services somewhere around the 18th, 19th, and 21st. So the Pope's representative will be on island. So we'll have that as well. He'll be laying a wreath and stuff. So he would be the highest ranking ambassador to participate for the services. And I think he's going to participate in a mass or so. Okay, so I'll correct corrections on this, and I know protocol will work with you on the singular invitations to send out. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to take the end part of Mayor Hoffman's comment to an actual discussion. So because the Nuntia will be here, the request is to have a liberation mass on July 20. So July 20 is Monday in the evening. Is the council okay with having a 6 p.m. mass at the liberation mass at the Cathedral Basilica at 6 p.m. on July 20?
What day is that?
Monday.
Monday? No objection.
So that's my discussion with the Chancery, is to have Monday the 20th at 6 p.m. But I said that I would come back to everybody because it is the nuncio. So we're understanding that the following day is Liberation Day. But again, it's kind of a rare opportunity as well. So no objections? Okay, so then that's what it'd be. If Mayor Hoffman, if you can just add onto that list, the Liberation
Sure.
Day Mass.
Yes, sir.
Early, yeah,
I'll update this and I'll send you by
July 20th, 6 p.m. at the Cathedral, and then we'll have to make sure that the governor and lieutenant governor are
Yeah,
informed.
because I know the Japanese consulate was asking, which is when we had our dinner with him, that we were able to update the schedule. So I'll update Consul Leida.
Okay, thank you. Any other updates on Liberation, please? 82nd. Mayor BJ,
Can I
did you?
speak?
I'm sorry
Yes.
that I can't hear him.
Hello.
Okay, we can hear you.
Okay, so, if I may, President and all my colleagues, it's very, very stressful because at the time, about last month or even before Sinlaku, we've only had confirmed 3 candidates, and I'm very, very grateful that I've reached out to some individuals who are have background in finding candidates, assisting me in finding candidates around the island. I know that everybody is busy, and I know that everybody is tight with funding in their own villages. However, in our previous meetings, we were talking about we don't have the responsibility now of taking care of the Liberation Parade. We voted as a council to have an event for like a parade or a festival for the 2 days, and we are hiring someone to take care of that. I know that some villages are going to be putting out floats. I know some villages are not going to be putting out floats. I know that we are all busy also preparing for our memorials. And so, I've reached out to the mayors constantly, consistently asking to provide a candidate for representation. Now, mayors were responding back to me about, Mayor, we are, the community, or they're not responding back, or they're afraid of the pageant, or the finances are not in place, or everything, every response that I can get. The bottom line is that this 82nd Queen's coronation is under the Mayor's Council. And it really isn't, for me, it really isn't about the win. It's about for us to come together again. Like Mayor TC always says, we need to stand united. The representation of the villages with each candidate is very important to the legacy of the traditions of the Liberation Queen and the liberation itself. And so, when I was looking at before I took the leadership of this, and I was looking at the criteria, our the Liberation Queen and the committee has no funding, right? And so, of course, we rely on the funding. We rely on the ticket sales, right? Traditionally, we rely on the ticket sales from the candidates when they are running for office. And I know last year we made some changes, but we are still continuing with the fundraising, not necessarily ticket sales, but fundraising efforts from these candidates. So a lot of our funding, or not a lot, all of the funding comes from the candidates themselves. Now, myself, my office, and Mayor Wayne Santos and his office have been diligently pushing out for assistance in regards to sponsorship. However, going back to trying to get representation from each of the villages for candidates is the challenging situation right now. So, I just, after Typhoon Senlaku, the committee stepped back and said, hey, we need to support each of the mayors with their recovery efforts. And that's the reason why in our last meeting, I asked to lump sum the first counting, and I asked to extend it to June 5th, which is this coming Friday, just for the sake of supporting those mayors that do have candidates and would like to, would be focusing on their recovery efforts from Typhoon Senlaku, as well as those other mayors that may be thinking of getting a candidate. But even after that, we still had three. I was fortunate enough to connect with individuals that are helping me, and we now have 5 or 6 candidates, which I'm very, very, very grateful for. So, again, I'm never going to force the mayor to get a candidate, right? But if we're going to really look at the Mayor's Council of Guam overseeing this and making this a united effort, then I think that we should really look at the representation of bringing out our showcasing our community through these candidates. So, with that said, I just plead again. I'm pleading with our community. I mean, my mayors to assist in any way possible for for this 82nd Liberation Queen's coronation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor BJ. Any comments? The mayor of Sinahanya is recognized. Mayor BJ, did you submit the letter to GVB, the request letter?
Yes, we did.
Okay, could you please just forward a copy to Mayor Hoffman?
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the mayor of Chalampago is recognized.
President Jesse, I think I'd like to echo what Mayor BJ has said, right? I think it's important that, you know, as a council that we unify together. This is definitely a signature project for the council, and I think it requires representation of each village. So we're not putting in a candidate. I think it's also important that we support it monetarily one way or the other. I'd like to ask actually, or make a motion that each mayor and vice mayor contribute at least $175 towards the cost of the to obtain what we need for the coronation. As you all know, we've been challenged, right? Many of us have been challenged, but I think 175 is a little ass. You all will be announced as sponsors at the pageant and everything. And I think it's a good thing. It's a good representation. Not having a Liberation Queen, really says a lot on our behalf, right? So I think it's important for us to unite, support the cause, get it through. We have 6 candidates, like Mayor BJ had said, and I think that's important. We continue to push forward. It's the one signature project that we can, be proud of, and, have representation for our island on that day, if anything. So.
Okay, is there a motion on the floor?
Well, I'd like to make a motion that each mayor and vice mayor contribute $175 towards the cost for the coronation pageant, or for the liberation pageant.
I second.
Okay, so there is a motion on the floor, motion by the mayor of Chalampago and seconded by the mayor of Inalahan. Is there any discussion on the motion? So to be clear, is this every mayor or every mayor that does not have a candidate?
So this is every mayor and vice mayor.
Okay. Any other discussion?
You would be, it would be given to our treasurer, Kevin Siswico, Mayor Kevin Siswico, and then each of you all would be share as a sponsor for the pageant as well.
Okay, so there is a motion to give 175 to the Queen's Committee, deposited to the Mayor's Council of Guam, for the committee's use, for each mayor and vice mayor, 175. Any other discussion on the motion? Mayor Sinani is recognized.
I know I'm tracking. I'm going to track that because I know the request to GVB was to that was the alternative from us collecting from us to do it this way. So we'll work. I think we can work both tracks on this. We can commit to doing that, and then should the sponsorship come through, then I think we could return that money there, then use the sponsorship money by the Bureau instead.
Okay. The mayor of Agani Heights is recognized.
Thank you, President Alec. I guess, I'm using my laptop from home today. I'm just not feeling well, but I guess my camera turned the thing on. I didn't realize. I want to thank BJ really for taking this task for the Liberation Queens committee to happen, because it's very tough, and he has, and with other individuals helping him out outside the council, have reached out to me as well, that we have a candidate in the Ganites who's been there for a few years. They're not residents, they weren't raised in the Ganites, but they're from here. So I'll be meeting her today or tomorrow, Mayor BJ. The finances is really tough, and I'm all for the $175, but perhaps Mayor BJ, I can contact you on this side and talk about the how should I say, what we can do to help this individual. She seems very excited, but I was very truthful. I was up front with her that on the financial side of it, and and where we're at today, we just don't have enough time, and I don't have the finances to support the individual that you sent to us. But she's very excited. I want to see what we can do for her. Okay, so if we can discuss that on the side, Mayor BJ, that'll be great.
Thank you. Yes, yes.
Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed, please say nay. Motion carries. Thank you. Any other discussion on liberation? I would like to ask the council's approval for approval to spend any money for the liberation mass expenses, which are obviously going to be very minimal. But is there a motion to approve expenses for the liberation mass on July 20 at the Cathedral Basilica?
So moved.
There is a motion by the Mayor of Sinahania. Is there a second? Seconded by the Vice Mayor Barragata. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Motion carries. Thank you. Any other final discussions on the 82nd Liberation? If none, we'll move into new business. So DPW is on our new business because there are some things that maybe perhaps some of you wanted to follow up, and I would like to turn the floor over to Mayor Hoffman, please, at this point to discuss this. Sorry that he just so we know that we all have some projects in the village or the roads or whatever it is. This is not meant to be a session to answer all your questions. This is kind of major topics that perhaps we can address, and we're very grateful that the director and the deputy are here, and we'll hopefully get some answers to the questions that we might have. Mayor Hoffman.
Thank you, Mr. President. In our just quick discussion, we were talking about things that we know that DPW is doing a lot of work out there, and we really appreciate what you're doing there. I think it's kind of just giving us an update of what it is, because you guys are moving so fast. Sometimes we're just like surprised to see, like driving down to the Inalahan Mayor's the funeral for the late Mayor Tidegre. I see your crews on the side of the road with heavy equipment and everything like that. So it's those kinds of things. We can just kind of update on a couple of things. I think where we're at with the junk car removal, the road paving projects is another one there. And then I know that there was some concerns with a couple of letters that were coming out of Guam Solid Waste. Some deal with us, some deal with private haulers. Some were concerned about people who self-haul like things to the transfer stations. They were told some people who self-haul, they're not going to do that anymore. I don't know if there's any truth to that. So if you can you would just have to answer here if you don't have an answer, and you can talk to them and come back with us, because we do have residents who are not part of the regular trash pickup, but self-haul some of their bulky items. And then we're told that they're not going to do any bulky exceptions for now. So if we can go ahead and have either of you just come on up and just give us a rundown of what's going on. It's not an oversight hearing. Don't worry. You're in friendly territory. So either one, it can come. Yeah.
Right up here, please. There's just a button at the bottom for the microphone. There you go.
Can you hear me? Good.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, mayors and Mr. President. Thank you so much for having us here. Joining me is Ms. Linda Ibanez. She's our deputy, and Charles Esteves. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the village street paving that we've been doing over the last 7 to 8 years, and then moving forward, have a really aggressive road paving schedule between now and the end of the year, and I'll talk a little bit about that. I'll also talk about some of our CIP projects that have been going throughout the village and throughout the island. A lot of them affect your villages as well, and we're very pleased to be in your villages to assist you with CIPs and with road projects. Next slide. I'll show you a portfolio of that also shows funding by the different agencies, projects by different villages, and then as I mentioned earlier, our street paving program. We have some of the carryover from our present round 4. Round 5 is upcoming this current fiscal year to the end of the fiscal year. And then I've also got a slide that'll show it village by village. Next slide, please. Okay, go ahead. Okay, this is the CIP dashboard. Right now, we've got about 127 different projects throughout the island. A lot of them are in your villages. We've got to the tune of about over $121 million. 40 of them are on track. When we say on track, they're in progress right now. 19 are in design and or in planning. And we have 60 plus that are closed and or completed. A lot of these include gyms, some of your community centers, baseball field here and there, offices, and things of that nature. The next slide. This shows basically the funding by agency or by organization. At the top of the list that we have, these are projects that are controlled and contracted by DPW. At the top of the list is Public Health and Social Services. The big part here is the Biolab in Mangilo. That's slated for approval sometime this year. That's a $30 million project at the entrance to UOG. DPW, we've got 10 projects, and these are all the gyms, the baseball fields, community centers, and the like. And then, of course, we've got some park projects with DPR, and as you can see, we've got DOE, the fire station, Guam Fire Department, and so on and so forth. Those are the different agencies that we've got projects with. And then we also have it by some of the villages. The second line there, you'll see the Chalapago ORDOT project of $8.8 million. We have the Inalahan Mayor's office. And then, as you can see, these are the other projects that we have throughout the island, totaling 2.7. Next slide, please. These are some that are basically on track. We're still in construction of the Haggadah swimming pool. We look to have that completed by the end of this year, November, if not December. We just started the fire station construction in Sinahanya. That's on track. That's in construction. That again is going to be fast track. We've got that we're using ARP funding. We expect that to be done by the end of this fiscal year, or rather this calendar year. We are in construction up north, the Northern Region Community Health Center. That's in progress, as well as the Southern Region Community Health Center. And these are part of the public health construction projects that I mentioned earlier. We've got open air gymnasiums and micro skate parks planned throughout the island. I believe we have five gyms planned. If you already have a gym, then you're not it. These are for other villages that have gyms. We're going to redo the Paseo softball and the Guerrero field. A lot of this is FEMA funding. We're probably going to expect additional FEMA funding because of the damages that occurred during Typhoon Sinlaku. We also have the Northern Region Sports Complex up in Derrido and our ORDOT bus satellite station that we look to have reconstructed. What I have next is the Village Street and Federal Highway projects that we've done. Go ahead, next one. Okay, so if you see this is the amount of money that we've spent in all the villages over the last several years that I've been at the helm of DPW, and it's basically it's alphabetical, all the villages, and this totals little over $19 million. These are completed village projects that we've done within your villages. The next slide basically shows all the different, it's the same concept, but it shows all the different streets that we've done in your villages. There might be a street or two missing. I don't believe so, but this is from our master list. We may have showed you this list, I think at one of the quarterly meetings that we've had with the governor a while ago. But if you look at this slide and then the next slide, this will show you the different backup. There, the $19.135 million. Okay, the next one. Ooh, what happened? We're missing. I'm sorry. Okay. Anyway, the one I'm talking about is we have the completed village street projects, and this will list all the different the streets that are in your villages that we have in fact paved. The last slide here is the completed federal highway projects. These are basically the routed roads that you see in front of you, from Route 1 all the way down to Route 30, about $100 million. What's on tab right now is what we call the DAR 1 project from Marine Drive, from Naval Station all the way to Camp Blas, Route 3. That's going to be a complete rehabilitation and reconstruction of at least one lane in each direction. So you'll have one lane up headed north, one lane headed south. And the reason for that is we need to restructure and re-strengthen those lanes because of the heavy loads that are anticipated from this military buildup from Naval Station all the way to Camp Blas. That was already out for bid. I believe we're about ready to award that. And then on top of that, within the same project, we have the reconstruction of 5 bridges, basically in the Assen PD area. Right now, we only have enough funding for 2 of the bridges. We let that out a couple months ago, and we didn't have any bids, but we are letting it out within the next 30, if not 45 days, as a rebid. But we've only got enough funding for 2 bridges. Moving forward, we have about 20 million in our account of ARP funding that was just loaded into our account to spend for village streets. So as you know, ARP funding has to be spent by the end of this year. This is going to be a very aggressive village street paving program throughout the island. So every village will have some streets paved, and we enjoy working with you mayors in getting these streets paved. Some of you may ask, how do we choose them? Of course, we work as closely with you as possible, but we basically do assessments of all the roads, and they're basically assessed on utilization, how many cars go through there, how many residents use that, the condition of the road, the safetiness of the road, and the expected lifespan of that road itself. Those factors all go into an assessment tool that we use, and then we determine whether we're able to pave that or not. As you can see, we can't pave every single road, but I think if you look at our history, we've paved almost 100 streets today. By the time we're done, I think we're going to have a lot more streets paved within all the villages. Some more in worse condition than others, and that's the reason for that. I think moving forward also, you'll see a lot of activity in the villages with us cleaning and upgrading a lot of the ponding basins to try to prevent a lot of the flooding. That's an ongoing project of ours. And then the last one, especially in the south, we all have flooding issues, right? We've gone to the greatest extent possible of doing a lot of pre-clearing, pre-maintenance before storms. We'll continue to keep that up so that we keep flooding to a minimum at the known flood sites. There's Pago Bay, there's Polaris, there's the Persinas area. There's some areas in Umatic that are known for flooding. And so we also have a couple of streets in Dedido that we're looking at that flood. So we'll be installing some injection chambers to alleviate the flooding there. let's see, so we have a very aggressive street paving project. We look forward to working with you mayors as we enter your villages. We'll let you know when we're in. We are, I think, completing EPEN right now. We are headed to Jonia right now. If you've seen how we operate, it's a twofold approach. DPW goes in there and does the preparatory work. We do the base course if needed. We repair any damaged areas of the road, and then Hawaiian Rock, our lone contractor, comes in and paves the road. What I do want to ask is your assistance in helping us maintain the roads in all the villages, especially on the village streets and in some cases the routed roads. DPW only has, and I have a budget hearing tomorrow, but this will come up. But we only have like about 40 individuals for highway maintenance, and that includes operating the quarry, that includes highway maintenance, that includes pothole repair, and the like. So you know we're stressed as well. But any and all assistance we can get from you mayors in helping us to cut the roadside grass in your villages or even on the routed roads, that is a huge assistance to us, and we really appreciate it. Let me speak a little bit because Mayor Hoffman, you asked a little bit about abandoned vehicles. We are in the middle of procuring and setting out an RFP for the handling of abandoned vehicles. And this will, what we're looking for is we're looking for proposals. We're looking for businesses that can take the vehicles lock, stock, and barrel, or they could take the vehicles and dismantle them. And the bottom line is they will take the vehicles, package them, crush them, dispose of them, and basically take it off island. We have a set process already to identify the vehicle from the moment we take it, and whether it be a road easement or from your offices or from a known junkyard or the like, and we'll follow it all the way until it leaves the island. We know that the abandoned vehicles here in Guam it's at basically an epidemic stage. We don't quite understand the mentality behind that, but we know it's something that we all have to face and we all have to figure out. We've got a $2 million MOU with EPA to start us off, and we know there's quite a bit more money in the recycling revolving fund. So we'll start with that, and we believe this program will assist you, will assist your residents, and will assist the island in trying to get it as clean as possible. I don't have any, Mayor, I don't have any information on solid waste. I don't know what the issue is there, but the two issues that we really need help with at DPW is roadside maintenance and of course the abandoned vehicles. We really need to tackle that problem and figure out what's the we know the solution, which is to get them off island, right? But on the other hand, we just can't keep having our individuals or residents just taking their vehicles at whim and just dropping it off by the roadside. So I think we're going to have to look at harsher penalties to prevent issues like that, because they do become a safety concern on our highways. That's pretty much all I have, Mr. President.
Thanks,
Any
Vince.
questions?
I appreciate it. I will ask the mayor of Senania does have a question.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for answering some of these questions. We appreciate the updates. Just a few questions on readiness. I know the last in Senlaku, what I didn't see was flooding issues in Polaris and other places like that, like you normally did. So you guys did a great job of kind of getting that and getting ahead of that. So I think that speaks to, if you have the equipment and the manpower, the resources, we don't have to kind of solve some of that here. I know you said you're working on flood control areas. Is there any long-term solution to some of these areas versus us having to just go back and dredge it out? I know in Alahan, Maleso, and all those other places, there are issues, the perennial issues, either the turns, the water just goes where it wants to, bamboo, vegetation. Are there any long-term solutions for that? And the second part on readiness is if we are going to have another storm, it's supposed to be a super El Nino year. If we can get the sand earlier, So then it's harder to shovel wet sand. So if I guess even if the governor's once it's within our radar, even if we need it or not, go ahead and mobilize and give us the pulverized sand already to kind of push out. So then we can work on getting the sandbags versus us having the bags and no sand. And then you mentioned about the culvert cleanings and the ponding basins, that going back on some schedule to kind of help push that. I know the percolation of some of the ponding basins are not all there already. I mean, some of them, it's years of, so you guys have been doing a good job of maintaining it there. But I think if it's just to kind of let us know if there is a schedule on that there. And then the FEMA projects, our Mawar signs, I know that Arnold, for honestly for me, is that we sent it in. I'm still waiting for the replacement stop signs and the crosswalk signs that flew away. So do you know where we're at on the replacement signs on the readiness?
Okay, let me start with the signs and work backwards.
Yeah.
So we do have a contract to replace all the signs that were damaged or blown away from Typhoon Mawar. That should start very soon, and these are signs throughout all the villages and everything. Linda, you want to add to that?
I'm sorry, would you mind using the microphone because we have if you just mind coming up, Peter, or is there a microphone there? Or there, yeah, you could use that.
That's right. You can be the mayor of NTM now. You're MPC anyway. Oh, you're not.
Anyway, those signs are in process. We issued a notice of intent. So all the villages have submitted in their request, and that's including the routed roads. So we're getting a feedback from Federal Highway on the installation and the signage. And then for the ponding basin, there is a grant, a federal mitigation grant. So the intent of the ponding basins island-wide is to harden it. I don't know if you guys remember Pangilinan ponding basin. That was our first initiative, right, to harden and fence it. And that has been working great. It's called Lalo Street or something in Barragata.
Okay.
So we're going to mirror that with all the other ponding basins. We're going to harden it.
Fencing, to
Yeah.
include fencing.
Yes, and that's one of the grant mitigation, hazard mitigation grant. And it looks like we're going to get it. But I just wanted to add that on.
Your other question, Mayor, was
The sand.
oh, the sand. Yes. If you could designate an area within your offices or within your villages, we can get you the loads of manufactured sand, 1 inch minus. That'll help you with your sandbags, and we can provide that for you. As Mayor Hoffman said, dry as opposed to wet, and then we could take it from there.
Okay. The mayor of Agani Heights is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Director Vince and Deputy Linda. And really to your team for doing Sanlaku during the storm and before it landed. I had a situation in the Agani Heights. And I can tell everybody, and I really believe that a storm really it tests your real vulnerability and your strength as a mayor and your team and the village and how they are able to recover and prepare. So my question is, Director Vince, what's the process, the road on Route 7 going down towards this, now it's called Mayor McDonald to Tuen Park, which will be announced later on this few months. But when you're making that way down, there's no signage that says signal, but people just are courteous. Is there something that we can do? Maybe we can say signal if you're going left. I mean, if you're going right down towards that road towards you can go to McDonald's or up the hill to the Ferrari, or you just continue to go down. It's just an idea because I know people just do it for courtesy, but there really is no signage for that. Thanks.
Okay. We'll take a look at that. I know exactly what you're talking about. What area? Thank you.
The mayor of Jigo is recognized.
Thank you for being here. You talked about the street signs from Mawar.
Yes.
So when I came into office, that was one of the questions that I had asked, and I was told GIGO was not involved or was not part of that street sign replacement.
I don't know why not. I know it's island-wide, so I could double check that,
Are
but
we-
it's island-wide. It's,
Are we only talking about the routed roads, or are we also talking about secondary?
no, everything. Stop signs, speed limit signs, yield signs. Yeah.
Okay, because I know that this is a,
Okay.
Yeah. So Linda, if you don't mind just using that microphone there, please.
okay, so I know that, because I used to work for the recovery office.
Okay.
And I know that that subject that came up with the recovery office as far as the project worksheets. And so when I took office, I called to follow up if GIGO was on that list, and I was told that GIGO is not part of that list.
From the recovery office?
Yes,
Well, they don't run DPW.
but given that they don't run
I'm telling-
DPW, but DPW eventually would have to file their damage assessment with recovery office.
I can
So
double check it, but I'm very positive that when we let out the bid, it was for signs throughout the island, every village, because every village suffered sign losses, right?
yes,
Yeah, I don't know why they would say Giga was absent. That just doesn't make sense. But I know every village is covered, and the signs actually will start being replaced very shortly. We just awarded the contract.
okay, then another thing is the abandoned vehicles, Route 15. Just this week, I saw 4 new cars along Route 15. So are you guys, the bid that you're putting out, is that for abandoned or vehicles from residents, or is that including along easements?
It's we're gonna start with easements. Actually, we're gonna start with the 3, if not 4, if not 500 that are at the back of DPW today. That we've been picking up all throughout the villages, all throughout easements, all throughout our routed roads to include Route 15. And we understand, we could pick it up, we could pick up the 4 today. I'll guarantee you by the end of the week, there's another 4. That's just the way it works, right? Unfortunately, there are either no punishments or there's no penalties. People that just seem to think it's fine to do that, but there's a law in place that we follow the law, but more often than not, when we find the registered owner, the last registered owner was 10, if not 15 years ago.
But also I wanted to thank you guys because you guys took care of those vehicles across Franciscan Robit. Route 15, just before you get to Mount
Yes.
San Rosa. Thank you guys for that.
Yes.
The ponding basin. So I know we have an issue with the one by Marianas Terrace, and that's the reason why Marianas Terrace is always getting flooded. So if you can,
As
Take a look at
mentioned,
that one.
all ponding basins, the grant is to go out there and re-harden them, so to speak, so that they in fact work. Most, if not all, the ponding basins that we've seen have not been maintained in so long, right? In probably 20, 30, 40 years since they were first built. So we need to re-dredge them. I think we did one like in Barragata a couple of years ago, and that seemed to have worked. But there's so much silt in so many of them. We need to re-dredge them so that the actual percolation takes place. And that Marianas Terrace one, that's probably the largest ponding basin on island.
as a matter of fact, Villa Pasita on Route 15, their ponding basin, I don't know if it was turned over to DPW. That's one of the issues also that's creating the flooding in Marianas Terrace, because that ponding basin is damaged. It's filled with silt, so
We'll take a look at that.
thank you.
Pasita.
The mayor of Dededo is recognized.
Good morning, Vince. Good morning,
Morning,
Linda.
Mayor.
Good morning. Hey, I want to thank you guys for helping us first with the junk and abandoned vehicles. I know it's littered throughout the whole island, not, but more particularly in the village of Derrida. Thank you for taking care of the ones at the entrance of Wistic Road. I know you had answered the question earlier that Mayor Hoffman had posed regarding the junk and abandoned vehicles. I understand that you mentioned ponding basins. The one where, Derrida has quite a few ponding basins, and you guys know that. But the one that is more particularly in concern is the one right on Sundo Drive, right in front of the bakery where the old flea market is at. What is the plan with that one? Because even up to this day on the dry season or whatnot, it still will never, it's not drained out. The water, if it rains, it's going to fill up and it causes stagnant water throughout the area. And remember, there's businesses that are around that area. So regarding that particular ponding basin, what is you guys plan for that particular one?
I think that ponding basin is similar to the ponding basin down in Tumon. My understanding is there's one, if not two endangered species in that pond. And we basically can't touch it when they're around. So we have to work very closely with Department of Agriculture and find a workaround, if you will, so that we can get that pond reconstructed or renewed, so to speak. Because I know what your concerns are. We have the same thing down at the Fujita Ponding Basin. There's an endangered species there, and once they come out, you can't even touch the water. So that's a very delicate situation. We'll hopefully try to work with them. They might still be there. I don't know. I don't monitor those kinds of things, but our situation was when we start to go out, we've been informed that be wary and be learned of this situation at these certain ponding basins.
Okay. Thank you for that. Another one is, I know you showed up on your slides earlier as far as your road projects are concerned. You had mentioned restructuring or I guess, strengthening from Naval to
Station to
Route 3.
Camp Laws.
Okay, so what is the plans on Route 3, right? If you notice on Route 3, right after the GRMC traffic light where the proposed Bank of Guam site is, or new site is going to be, from that particular area all the way to the intersection of Route 28, which is Waisangsong Road. That whole area was left out when they initially did Route 3. Is there any plans? Because for one, we got Ukudu High School that's there. It's on summertime or whatnot. We got a new housing facility. I believe it's called Summer Breeze, if I'm not mistaken, on the left side where Cortec is at, whatnot. And I was just speaking to the resident manager over there. They're up to about almost 500 residents that are registered in that area, in that particular housing area. So like I said, if you notice from Route 3 GRMC traffic light, right where the Bank of Guam proposed site is at, all the way to Route 28 intersection of Waisangsong, that whole area pretty much was left out when they did it. Is there any plans to upgrade possibly widening it? And not only that, is there's a few center lanes there, especially the one coming out of Astumbo Gardens, and we have numerous complaints from the residents coming out of Astumbo Gardens, where especially the Manumcos that complain that the road striping, the reflectors, there's nothing. So, that is very dangerous as far as safety is concerned. And another thing too, sooner or later, the Marines is going to be full blown up there at Camp Blas. And that, already Route 3, we all know the traffic there coming in and out is really bad. So as soon as the Marines and their family come there at full capacity, that whole particular area really is going to need some attention. And I know this has been brought up previously in the past years or whatnot. So we just want to know what's the status with that particular area.
Yeah, that'll be part of the DAR 1 reconstruction. And actually, we're starting in that area first instead of NAS, rather Naval Station, because Naval Station has some construction going on. So we're going to start up north. So there won't be a complete widening, but I know a lot of the roads will be a lot of the lanes will be reconstructed. As will all the lanes be repaved? I'd have to check in the plans right now. I don't see that in the plans, but we can see whether we can get that included as part of the reconstruction. A lot of it, though, we're still awaiting money from DOD to fully fund the reconstruction.
Well, I it just act. Well, I just actually had a meeting with the Camp Plaza officials earlier this morning, and that was one of the main topics regarding that particular area. So hopefully soon the team at Camp Plaza would reach out to you guys as far as getting together and coming up with a solution for that particular area.
Vince, who is the POC, or who do they contact if they have any questions about the street signs from Wawa?
For what?
For the street signs that the villages are, that are expecting them?
You can contact myself or Linda.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it was a question on to one of the mayors. Thank you. The mayor Vinlahan is recognized.
So for now, the interim solution to resolve abandoned vehicles is still call you guys up. You guys,
Right.
how much more room do you guys have to?
Not much. I can tell you that, not much. It's a bit of a hazard right now. That's why we're really pushing to get this RFP out. I personally know, we know of at least 4 companies that can handle it. So soon as we can get, it's an IDIQ that we're looking to get out there. And so as soon as we can get that RFP done and the IDIQ awarded, we can see a lot of progress.
So Bitch, what's a tentative timeline that we're projecting that we're going to be able to launch this off? Only so that we can manage the expectation of the people calling in, asking when, right? So if we can get some kind of, not definitive, but even just a tentative timeline of what can we say, end of July?
Probably latter part of this year, that's just the procurement process that we're in right now. Probably the latter part of this year, October, November. And that's being very generous. But we'll continue to go out there and pick up the vehicles. One of our biggest issues right now is the government does not have a staging area for the abandoned vehicles. Most, if not all, the properties that belong to the government are under the Chamorro Land Trust Commission.
Oh, we can't hear Vince. Sorry, guys.
Part of the reason why I want to say that that's something that we really, really need to put a lot of emphasis on, simply because number one, it becomes a rat infested. Any abandoned vehicles, I don't know, but what's more important is one of 2 things. One, they get burned, and it becomes definitely not, it went from an eyesore to a bedsore, right? But the other thing that I wanted to say is that we've witnessed a lot of kids playing in and out of these vehicles. And of course, the potential for injury, more so death. I don't want to be having to report to anyone. It's literally as a result of us just not moving the vehicle, getting it out of the public's view way. So I would really appreciate if we can put some aggressive move on trying to get the abandoned vehicle bid out sooner rather than later.
Has another bid under 250 for collection in our area compound. So that's why we're able to address the right of way island-wide. So if you do have a safety issue with the abandoned vehicle in your village, you can just email. And we've seen a couple of emails coming from the mayors. So we addressed it. That's why we recently just addressed Jigo. And I don't know if you guys remember this homeless encampment that we just did last week. We picked up over 30 cars in the back road, and they were burnt and everything. So what's going on in our compound is we've been utilizing Guam solid waste crusher. And so we've been dismantling all the items like the tires, whatever's inside, right, in the fluid. So we've been smashing it to make space. But we have a separate bid for that to be removed. But if you have a safety then we'll address it. All you have to do is email it, and the guys will be out to pick it up. And the only thing we ask from the mayors is we see the abandoned vehicles, right? But they're filled with trash, household waste, white goods. We're not able to take the white goods or the trash. So the team has been working with the mayors to remove the trash because you guys get a service right at the transfer stations or the John, right? You get one drop off. So that's what we ask of you guys is to clear the household waste trash in the cars.
Yeah, if I can add also, this is not a, please don't misconstrue this. This is not a free-for-all, so that residents can now take their abandoned vehicles and throw it on the road because DPW's gonna come and pick it up. That's not what I'm saying. This program is intended to pick up abandoned vehicles that are throughout the island, right? Not at abandoned, not at vehicle roadsides or easements, right? There's plenty of recycling companies that can handle this. It's just, you know, we're asking the public's patience. My gosh, the abandoned vehicle has been in your backyard for the last 30 years. We'll come and get it, right? It's just, we don't want them on the easements, on the roadsides, and on the streets of our villages. So this is not a wanton time to just go out there and throw your vehicles because DPW is going to go out there and pick it up. The program hasn't started, but what we're doing in the meantime is we're trying to keep our roads and our highways safe. And I'd appreciate the community's effort in joining us in keeping the village streets and roadways safe as well.
To remove the guardrails and replace it?
Yes, well, we've got some funding for guardrails. The problem is we're looking for a contractor right now to do the guardrails, island wide. It's a huge task. One of the issues that we had earlier a couple of years ago was the supply issue. We couldn't even get guardrails to Guam, according to some contractors. So, you know, a lot of it is, a lot of it is our location. But something like that, we want to contract that out. We have the funding for that. I don't have a timeline for that because the procurement process is very long. It's tedious, but we are working on that to replace the guardrails throughout the island, and there's a lot of them.
Okay, thank you.
So we are in communication with GPA, and they'll probably appear at our August meeting. But one of the concerns because of Sinlaku was the vegetation and tree trimming. Does DPW have any plans on doing any tree trimming on routed roads?
Well, most if not all our routed roads, we do our tree trimming, our grass cutting. You see all of our equipment out. A lot of our highways like Route 1, I know is contracted out. That's a private company that does that. I believe Route 16, 8 and 16 are contracted out, but pretty much all of Marine Drive is contracted out. But for the other tree trimming, a lot of that is done in-house throughout the South.
Okay, sounds good. The mayor of Santa Rita is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Ariola. I just have a quick question. I know we did the groundbreaking for Cross Island, but would you have to know when's the time frame they'll start on that?
Hawaiian Rockets. As I mentioned, we only have one contractor, right? And yeah, you're right. We did have the groundbreaking. We've been really pushing them because in addition to the village street paving that we have our federal routed road paving, which is, I think the big one is Route 17. We're trying to get them started actually this month actually they're going to start at the Route 5 and Route 17 intersection. Look for them within the next 2 weeks.
Okay. To go back with the abandoned vehicle, the phase 1, the 2 million. It's been at the AG since May 8th for the review. We've been reaching out to them to expedite it, so we'll do another follow-up with the AG. He reassured us that he was going to expedite it, but it's been there since May 8th.
The Vice Mayor of Dededo is recognized.
Okay, I just want to ask who is really oversees the secondary road? I just want to clarify because we have a lot of calls about, potholes on secondary roads. And some of those roads are really, regular paved. And there's only so much coral we can keep on piling up on, and it'll still eat up on the, it'll just get the potholes bigger. So I want to know who really handles secondary.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that's just that's a partnership between us and you folks, right? When it comes to potholes, if you folks can do it, we certainly appreciate it. We provide the mix, right? You folks come to the quarry, you pick it up, and then we give you all the loads you need, and you help us with the potholes. If it's really getting to the point where it needs repaving, we need to hopefully put that into our village street paving, and just pave it. But a lot of this is just a partnership, like I mentioned earlier. Not just the potholes, but the grass cutting, the roadside trimming, and things of that nature.
Yes, because, it's just that the residents are concerned because we do assist by putting corals and everything, but there's so much, you do the same location constantly.
Right.
And then they complain that, they ruined my tires, things like that.
So something like that, I think we should, if it's really that damaged, right? And maybe we might have missed it ourselves. Let us know what that road is, and we'll see if we can get that paved as well. Because again, what we do is we go out and we assess all the roads that we can. And we may have missed a road or two. I don't doubt that, because there's over 700 miles of roads on Guam, right?
Okay, and I just want to clarify, I know you mentioned about the abandoned vehicles. So even if a resident has, inherit a property that has a lot of abandoned vehicles, they can still forward their request to you, or what is it? Or they
Right.
have to handle it, they can still reach out to you.
Right.
It'll be, it's not going to be fast, but at least you're aware of it.
At least we have it in the hopper, in the queue.
Okay, because, residents call and, we're not, we're not allowed to enter private property, but at least we can let them reach out to you, because I know we were given an email address, and I was very fortunate that one of the residents CC'd me when I gave them, and you did respond, which your holding station is full.
Right.
And, at least the resident knows that you are assisting them, but it's going to take time.
Yeah. The program is coming.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Vince. I appreciate your time with us.
Thank you very much, mayors. Look forward to
Oh.
working with you some more.
Wait, hold on.
Appreciate
Mayor BG, did you have a question?
Yes, I just wanted, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I just first of all, Vince, Linda, DPW, thank you guys. We're starting to see some preparations in Zonia for your assistance. In regards to the the telecommunications, like G or even GWA, and some telecommunications like GTA, when they do groundbreaking in our areas for laying their I guess wires down, right? How long of a process do they have to repair and then fix these places permanently? And then, what is the time frame? And then if they're not permanently, I know we will reach out to them first, but if there's a concern in regards to the road that they, I guess, drilled into, do we reach out to you, and how do we go about in doing that process?
Thank you very much, Mayor. Typically, the repair from these telecommunication companies should be done within 30 days after they trench it, because basically shouldn't be no larger than a 3-inch wide trench. So that really should be done within 30 days. If they're not, you can always call our highway encroachment division, and they can go out there and send inspectors. And if it's not repaired after, say, 30 days, we can always issue them a stop work order. stop work orders work all the time. Once we do that, trust me, they're gonna go out there and repair it.
Thank you, Vince.
Same thing as GWA. Again, a lot of it is a supply issue. They'll go out there and repair it temporarily, such as the one, where's Barragata? At the tri-intersection. That's still a temporary solution. So, you know, when they contract it out to a contractor has to wait until that hot asphalt batch is made by the lone asphalt contractor here in Guam. But it eventually gets paved. It just takes a while sometimes.
The mayor of Dededo is recognized.
Vince, one last question. So, similar to what Mayor BJ had asked, but so when we get a particular contractor within the villages, right, and they come in with their encroachment forms, they come to you, of course, before the project starts and after the project starts. But there's times where when the project is done, they provide the information as far as the pictures and whatnot, what was done and whatever. And, you know, we, you know, quote unquote, sign off on it. But my thing is, isn't it supposed to be, or what is the formality? Is it supposed to be DPW inspectors go out and sign after the initial project, after the proposed project was done, then the mayor sign, or the mayor sign, then the inspectors go out and sign off of
I believe it's the mayor signs, and then we send a final inspector out before our signature to release either the bond or the $500 or the $1,000 or whatever cash deposit is laid. But before we sign it and before we release the whatever cash deposit has been paid into the government of Guam, your signature's got to be there. Our highway encroachment inspector has seen it, and my signature is.
Okay, so basically, before you sign, we sign, and then we'll go out there and do, because there's several times where I won't sign off unless I go do an actual site visit.
You have to go and see. Yeah, and this is not a temporary. This is not a temporary repair. This is a permanent repair that's supposed to be done. Okay. Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The mayor of Jigo is recognized.
On that same note, I just want to share, because we get a whole bunch of HEPs. So what we normally do is the vice, myself, or one of the staff physically goes out there to inspect, take pictures, and then that's when we sign the report.
Correct.
Because I already told my staff, we're not signing anything without
And you should.
approving it and seeing that the work is done.
Again, this is a partnership, right? Yeah, I could use all the help. We could use all the help we could get from you mayors. Thank you for that. You know.
The mayor of Sinania is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just on my final thing, I do really want to thank you for the streetlights. I know that Melanie's no longer there, so who replaced Melanie on that? I know you got. I just in us alone was like 110 streetlights. I think island-wide, since you started the project, that the governor's given the order to. It's a couple of thousand that have gone up. So who's replaced Melanie? Like who's is Mark the one sending the response, or is it?
It'll still be what's his name? Mark Abrentia for now, right? He's the supervisor there.
Okay, so and then are you still accepting requests for new streetlight installations? You are.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Vince. Well, okay, the mayor, last one, yeah. Okay,
Yes.
Mayor Jigo.
Thank you for bringing up about the streetlights. So I know that the new process now, it goes to DPW. So I know in previous, we would normally just email, but now they want us to physically bring in the requests. Is that something that we can work out? Because
Yeah, we have, well, I don't know how things change, but typically we had a liaison from the governor's office to you mayors, and everything gets funneled to there. That individual has been reappointed elsewhere. I think he moved on up a little bit, so we'll try to reestablish that and make it work for everybody, make it smoother for everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Just don't think we should be going down there wasting gas, right? That's a lot of money, right? I think email is most effective.
Just send an email to us and we'll take care of it. Yeah.
The mayor of Agana is recognized.
I'll be eating lunch at 3.
Yeah, thank you. You know, sorry, because the host. Wait, okay, thank you for starting my video. So for clarification, because I'm a new mayor, streetlights, DPW, GPA, what's the collaboration here? Director Vince on this? With GPA asking, for the streetlights for repairs after the storm. Can you just get some clarification, anyone on that? Thanks.
Sorry, there you go. Anything for repair, new street light installation, those are basically the two. Yeah, run everything through DPW, because DPW actually pays for the street lights for all throughout the island. We get an appropriation, we take that appropriation, we get the billings from GPA, we reconcile them, and we do the payment for all the street lights. Doesn't matter where they're at. We do the payment. So anything having to do with installation and repair of street lights comes through DPW.
Okay, because GPA was in the village just a few weeks ago, or maybe about a month ago, doing the assessment after the storm for the repairs of the streetlights.
Right.
And then we were also asked to turn a list in of streetlights. So I want to just start what's the distinction there? Thanks.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much,
Thank you
Mayor.
too. We appreciate
It's a
it.
pleasure being here.
Okay, thanks again. Thank you, Linda. Thank you so much. Oh, we'll just go right into announcements. Order, please. Are there any announcements? So there is one, the foster care, the public health has reached out to me, and I just would like to announce to the council. Order, please. Thank you. That's why who I make that louder. So there is a big need for foster care. The council several years ago ran a campaign, and we're very proud of that campaign, where we were able to find at least 20 foster families for our government system. What you should know is that the government emergency shelter houses 40 children at Iguma Minaasi. They currently have 50 children. So the 10 are being housed at another area. Altogether, there's over 690 foster children and only 90 foster families. All these children are in relative placement, and they are going week by week to different relatives, but they remain fosters. And so I would like to let you all know that I will work with public health to see how we could all again work toward another campaign to increase foster families and to help out the foster care system, because there could be many ways to do it. You don't actually have to foster the child permanently. We could do a weekend placement. You could do an overnight placement. It could just be for Christmas or just be for Thanksgiving. But they were very appreciative of our help the first time, and so I would like to see what we can do this time around. The saddest part about it is that majority of those children are Chamorro. And so I think for all of us, it's, there's so much going on in the village, and these children go to school with our children. They go to regular public school, but a lot of them have to go to where the emergency shelter is at, or where they're fostered at. So they're not really at their home school. But I just wanted to make the announcement that I just met with them this week, and we will be talking more about what the council could potentially do. Okay. Any other announcements? The Mayor of Indalahan is recognized.
Yeah, so one, obviously, we didn't go through our budget. We didn't go through our budget thing with the centers. But, so the question I have though now is that if we are still going up for the budget review, would it be an opportune time to consider now asking that our budget be increased to take over the senior citizens program? And I think it's important that we make the consideration because I, for one, in Alan, I am using a portion of my office to run this program. Unfortunately, it's not sanctioned, it's not approved, it's not authorized, right? And what's holding us back from really opening up the services there is that I think because of we have to go through so much red tape to get all this approval going. But I think if we took ownership of the program, then obviously I believe that, and many other areas that don't have centers can probably prop up, right, and start engaging in services. So I just want to throw that out there. If anything, I'd like to make a motion that we, as a council, that we move in that direction. So
I appreciate the announcement. I don't believe a motion is necessary. I think we are all on the same boat, and that we will have we will call between the executive director and I, we will call a separate work session where the mayors will get together with all the information that we need, how funding, the amount of funding, what our program will look like, what we're proposing to take over, and then hopefully we could either address it at our July meeting. We could also have the discussion with our oversight chair as we have the discussion, so that they are aware of what our intentions are. So yes, a motion isn't necessary because I think we've already discussed that for the most part, we all want to see what we can do to improve the program and to improve the program. So yes, thank you, Mayor TC. Just so that you know, that work session will occur, and then there's going to be another work session. And I thought I wrote it down, but I didn't write it down. Hamalifo is but we will be letting you know that there are two different work sessions that I'd like to be calling with the council. So those will be so that we could prepare for either the July or the August meeting to ratify at the council level. Okay. Any questions?
Just one.
Yes, the mayor of Hoggett is recognized.
Just want to say to all the officers that donated for the CNMI Sunlaku relief. The container was filled, and 40-foot container will be sent over to Saipan and Tinian. I think we went over a little bit on our donations, and so it was able to fill part of the container, another container that was half empty. So on behalf of AMIM and on behalf of the mayors of CNMI and MCOG, thank you so much for your help for them.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you to everyone who contributed. Any other announcements? Oh, and happy birthday. Thank you, Mayor TC. Happy birthday. We're announcing that Mayor Kevin is now 16 years old. Congratulations. You cannot yet drink yet. It is announcement because I want to say that PT had its first festival this past weekend, and I want to announce that to all of you that have been doing this, good job. I have to say that it was an experience. If you've never done it, do it. do it. But again, if you've done it before, Mayor TC, you've done it. Mayor Champaco with the down in Maleso, and everyone else, Hoggett, of course. And my friend Mayor Talafofo, the banana, and Mingila with Doni. It is an experience putting it together, going through it, and then finishing it up. And I think I don't know what to say other than congratulations to all of you that have been doing it for all these years. I'm glad I waited 3 terms to start, but it was an experience. Thank you for those of you that came out. I always say, if I didn't have to be here, I would be at home too. So thank you for the hard work that you do in putting your festivals together, because it is a big deal. Other than that, any other announcements? Oh, yes, Santa Rita, please.
Thank you. I'd just like to invite all of you and your residents for next weekend, June 13 and 14, for our first annual Papaya Block Party.
Viva.
Viva.
Viva Papata. Okay, any other announcements? If none, it is 11:43 and this meeting is now adjourned. Thank you so much. Can we bless our food, Mayor Hoffman? I know you're waiting to bless our food, por favor.
All right, if we can please rise.